Gamers, gals, non-binary pals, the promised day is upon us. We are here to talk about the greatest day of any calendar cycle? I don't fucking know when Banlist come out. But all we have to know is that there was a Banlist day. I want to do a brief little discussion about the hits and what I think it's gonna shake up in the larger metagame. And then in the next video, we'll do a nice little tier list video. So it's gonna be a nice two-parter for me to milk this ban list for all that it's fucking got. Cause holy shit, this is probably the biggest ban list and most impactful ban list that we've gotten in Yu-Gi-Oh! For the past couple of years. Like arguably on par with like the Megatons. Let's take a look at the forbidden stuff. yugioh and Kelbeck. I'ma say it, I'm a hater of tier. I don't think this is too difficult for some of you guys to understand. Gentlemen can suck on my fucking nuts. I think that playing a fucking casino gambler deck is dumb as hell, and I hated when this deck was at full power and you milled like one card and then you fucking hit like 20 interruptions on your opponent's turn and your own turn. Like it was just so fucking lame that Tearlament just had two absurdly broken sat cards. And like finally, like now Tearlament is like in a place where I'd call like this deck is fine. It is just Shadal 2 now. Yeah, Tier is just a normal deck now. And I'm happy that it's a normal deck now, rather than the fucking, we're going to Vegas, baby. Put it all on red. We're rolling the field. Tier's probably not gonna be that good anymore because you no longer have like the super high roll hands. Maybe you could do stuff with like Zombie Vampire and the Horus engine, but you know, it's just not gonna be crazy broken as it once was. Next up, Mathmech Circular. Did this card needed to be hit right now? Absolutely fucking not. Was this card obnoxious as fuck to play against? Absolutely yes. Chat, this might sound a bit insane, but I think it is as good to Cybers and Mathmech as the Ishizus were to Tearlament. Mathmech Circular does everything on its own. Literally everything. It's a mill outlet. It stands for cost. It's a one card OTK. It's a one card combo. The problem was, unlike, you know, fucking yugioh and Kelbeck, it was actually interruptible. If you DD Crowed or Abyssal the Sigma, then you were just like, oh shit, I lose the game. Unlucky. I do think Circular at some point needed to be hit. I don't think now was the right time. Maybe like 6 months ago. But just right now, like, Mathmech's not doing anything. Like, when you look at like YCS results for the past couple months, like, Mathmech is just non-existent. It's not even represented in any meaningful capacity. And then, last ban, Isolde. Holy fucking shit. How did Isolde not get banned sooner? Isolde is one of the most obnoxious fucking cards of all time. The fact that it was generic, the fact that it could be played in basically any deck with warriors, the fact that it's sent for cost, so you could just add back Phoenix Blades for discards, for stuff like Renaud. Oh my god, this deck was so fucking lame, dude. The first fucking regional I ever entered, I was like 17 years old. I was playing Altergeist with no Imperm and 3 Torrential Tribute. I was like, oh boy, I can't wait to play at this regional. We're gonna really pop off. I lost a dice roll versus my round 1 opponent. And I'm like, oh, good luck, kid. And then I open a hand, no hand traps. It's like 4 trap cards and like a multi-faker. I'm like, okay, this hand is really good. And then he normal summons a Space Connector and hand loops me for 6. So fuck Isolde. This card should have been banned 5 years ago, but I mean, hey man, I'm just happy it's gone now. Now for limits, we got the fucking biblical texts over here. Unchained Soul of Sharava. Unchained probably needed a hit. Unchained is such a weird deck to hit in the sense where like if you ban like High Wave King Caesar, if you ban like the purple child, the purple guy, if you ban like Unchained Soul of Rage, like the deck becomes literally unplayable. But if you do something really light, like maybe like Limit Aruha, it just feels like nothing really changed. The deck is just mildly less consistent. I think that Sharava is definitely probably the correct limit in the scenario. Like Vlad said, you have to play like double Blue Dog now to like super consistently make High Wave King Caesar. Like Imperming Tour Guide is no longer like an auto lose, because if they had Sharava in hand, they could just like chain link 3 pop Tour Guide to just chain block it, and then just lost the game on the spot. It's been toned down. I'm glad that this dog has been put inside of the pound. Airlifter, gives a shit? It's fucking... Oh no, we have 2 less copies. Anyways, activate emergency. Like, Airlifter becomes, like, slightly less good. I mean, like, Rescue Ace becomes marginally less good. But as soon as, like, the new Snake Eyes stuff comes out with, like, Normal Ash, grab Populous, Populous at Original, activate Original, special thing, chain link 1 thing, chain link 2, wee woo, wee woo. This deck is still good. Next, we got Redox. Ooh, boy. Dragon Rulers, they're coming back. Realistically, I've been saying it. Every single Dragon Ruler can come back to 3. I won't tell a lie. Redox, Tile, all these bad boys can come back. Dragon Rulers on their own don't do anything. And like, at best, the Dragon Rulers are maybe just gonna be like bad extenders. You know what I mean? Like, Blaster is a bad extender in Fire King. Title might be a bad extender in like Tier Limit. Tempest is forever dog shit. That card is so ass. I mean, like, Redox might be cool for like Vernisylph. Like, Redox might be cool for like Vernisylph at Emancipator or like Madolche. But I mean, so many of the Dragon Ruler effects have just been like power crept out by just archetypes getting better. Tempest actually has a place of Armed Dragon Thunder. Shut the fuck up, please. They've been power crept out by just archetypes getting better, you know what I mean? They're too resource intensive. Archetypes just natively do things on their own now. Like, there's just not really a need. Speaking of archetypes getting better, Orchist. Yippee! Shoutouts to all the Orchist spielers in chat. I mean, Harpors, it's a card. Let's be real. Who gives a shit? It's fucking Harpor, man. Like, Orchist already has pseudo Harpor and Gearsus and like World Wand into like Nightmare, blah blah blah. We already have Harpor. The fact that this package just sees 0 play, like, that should just like tell you everything that you need to know. Like, I'm sorry that your deck that plays 7 bricks isn't very good. Then we got the real gamer hits. Gozen, Rivalry, Tikaboo. I've been saying it. Stun decks are a little too good. And I mean this with 100% seriousness. Stun cards in recent Yu-Gi-Oh! They haven't been like that prevalent, but just like slowly and surely, just inch by inch, you'll just look at a silly little deck. You'll be looking at like a tier limit deck list and you'll be like, okay, you know, you got like normal tier limit cards, sure, whatever. And then you'll just see like triple Tikaboo in the side. Or like in Salamangreat, they'll have like triple Gozen match or Rivalry. It's one of those cards that just makes Yu-Gi-Oh! Unfun. Like in Vanquishal, yeah, fucking Vanquishal as well, running Tikaboo. Every time I go to fucking locals and that shit gets flipped on me when I activate a welcome, makes me want to fucking shoot myself. I'm glad that they're removing cards that enable like degenerate stun strategies or just like lock people out of playing the game. Sun Avalon, Dryas, and Healer. 07 to the worst fucking deck cooked up by duelists. This deck is so fucking lame, dude. Nothing is more cringe than seeing your opponent normal summon a fucking seed, because you're like, oh my god, if I Book of Moon it, then they have Mudon to tribute it. If I pop it, then they just unexpected die. If I imperm Dryas, what if they just hard open Sowing? The main thing that made Sun Avalon very frustrating to play against wasn't the fact that, like, you know, it's just like a very goofy deck, is that the fact that you were playing this weird game of chicken where if your opponent has it, then like they literally win the game on the spot because they go full combo. But if they don't have it, then you're just like, wow, this was a great game of Yu-Gi-Oh! Where I negated them once and won on the spot. That was awesome. Like, it hurts the grind game a little bit more. If you get impermed, it's like way worse because you're not able to just like full combo immediately afterwards. They don't really play like any pot of avarice like effects. So I think that like Dryas and Healer bans or limits, whatever, I think they're good. I think they're fine. If the World Challenge just the car, it's fine. Oh boy, we have Searchable Monster Reborn. Problem is, Monster Reborn isn't very good. Like, you can maybe play it in Runic Generator in order to search out, like, World Legacy Monstrosity. That is something I do want to discuss when we're doing the tier list, and we're talking about Runic Generator a little bit more deeply. But right now, it's like, it's a fine card. Like, it's just kind of past its prime. Like, we just have better cards now that do it. Snatch Steal is back at 1. I'ma be real. Who fucking cares? Change of Hearts at 1. Like, you get the monster permanently, but let's be real. Like, you were always linking off with your opponent's monster. You were always swinging for game. Like, Snatch Steal steal something like Colossus or whatever isn't really, like, relevant anymore. You could search Snatch Steal, though. You know what you could also do? Triple Tactics Thrust into Change of Heart. You know what you could also do? Fucking just Play triple mind control, which is at 3 now, by the way. Like, if Isolde was still in the format, it would definitely be like a big issue, because Isolde could send like Snatchel, and like, you know, Renaud could add it back, the Makonkos can do goofy shit. But I mean, like, the main way like decks were searching equip spells is just like gone now. Like, who gives a shit? You can't thrust Snatch Steal. You can thrust into Hidden Armory into Snatch Steal. Semi-limits. Sleepy Memory. I was talking to my friend Mason earlier, and he was like, oh, this is like completely fine, because now whenever I'm my friend, I'm always doing double Sleepy Memory plus Delicious. Like, you just don't have to think about your search targets anymore. You just always have those 2 lines. It's like, wow, what a change. Pinkertop's still arguably the best going second card ever printed. And now Terratop is back at 2. We're bringing it back, baby. Aaron, eat your fucking heart out. Speedroids are tier 0, baby. And finally, we have the Unlimit section. Infernity Archfiend, who cares? This deck is bad. Cashier Unicorn, who cares? This deck is bad. Mind Control, who cares? This card is bad. Spellbook of Judgment, who cares? This archetype is bad. Now for the actual relevant unbans. Upstart Goblin to 3 does change deck building slightly. One of the things that we were testing in the Centurion group chat was just playing pots and just playing shit like Upstart Goblin, because you don't really want to get rid of any of your grind game resources. And playing Upstart instead of any of the pots in that deck is actually like pretty good. Now, of course, the fucking infamous meme of Upstart into Droll, sure. But if you were ever leading with Upstart or Desires or Terraforming in order to find your combo, let's be real, if you were getting hand trapped on that, you were always fucking losing the game. That fucking Upstart could be Ash Blossom, and you could just be like, fucked. Like, let's be real. Like, it never really mattered. Pot of Desires to 3. I mean, wow, consistency. We've done it. And Sprite Starter. Let's be real. As funny as it is to say, Sprite Starter was kind of the worst Sprite card. I mean, it says special a Sprite monster from deck. Wow, that shit's fucking crazy. But the weird thing is like you only really played it at 1. It was horrible to lead with. It made certain hands like weirdly unplayable or create nombos, so you couldn't go into like Link 4s and stuff. Pixie looking mad confused. Pixies is a good fucking card, because at least you could fucking summon it, okay? Yeah, Starter was always like this really weird hit that I don't think was exactly necessary, but I guess like at the time it was like Sprite was kind of frustrating, and that was like the best hit that they could do at the time. But yeah, overall, those are the quick off the rip discussion points that I did want to talk about when it came to the ban list. Let me know what your guys' fast thoughts are down below, and I will see you in the tier list video tomorrow.